The planet was dark and cold, with jagged rocks that cut the sky like broken teeth. Wind howled across the barren plains, carrying dust and strange smells. No one dared go far from the human settlement. The aliens who lived nearby had warned that the beast roamed these lands. They said it was huge, faster than anything alive and sharper than any weapon. Its roar could shake mountains and frighten anyone who heard it. Even the bravest soldiers would not step close. Kara stood on a small hill near the settlement, watching the beast from a distance. She had heard the stories all her life like every other human. The aliens said humans were weak and afraid. Yet Kara felt a strange curiosity instead of fear. She had a small device to track the beast's movements. Every time it appeared, she noted where it went, how it moved, and what it looked like. She was careful, always staying out of reach, but she wanted to see it up close. She wanted to understand it. The other humans avoided the plains. They stayed close to the settlement, listening to the wind and hoping they would not hear the beast. Some said it hunted at night, others said it could crush a ship with one swipe of its claws. Aliens laughed at the humans, calling them weak, small, and useless. But Kara did not care about their jokes. She wanted knowledge, and knowledge meant watching even if it was dangerous. One evening, when the sky was a deep red and the wind slowed to a low moan, the beast appeared. It came from the north, moving slowly over the rocks. Kara held her breath. She had seen it before, but never this close. Its body was enormous, taller than the tallest alien she had ever seen. Thick scales covered it, reflecting the red light of the sky. Its eyes were sharp and intelligent, watching everything carefully. When it saw movement, it stopped and sniffed the air like it could sense thoughts. Kara froze. The beast let out a low growl. The sound was deep, shaking the rocks beneath her feet. She did not move. She knew that even a small mistake could make the beast attack. She had seen how aliens and other humans panicked, running away and shouting only to make it angry. But Kara stayed still, calm and quiet. She watched as the beast sniffed around, slowly moving past a rock formation, and then disappeared behind a ridge. Her heart raced, but she felt excitement too. This was rare. Not many had seen it so closely. She wrote down every detail she saw. Its claws were long, curved, and sharp. Its tail was thick and heavy, dragging on the ground. But there was something else. Kara noticed that it paused near a small cave. It looked like it was protecting something. She could not see inside the cave from her distance, but she wondered, could the beast have babies? Or food it was guarding? She did not know. No one had ever gone close enough to find out. The aliens often patrolled the area, warning humans to stay inside. Kara saw them from afar, riding their hovering ships and shouting. They laughed at her. "You will die if you go closer," one alien shouted. Kara smiled slightly. They did not understand. She was not afraid of the beast. She wanted to learn, not fight. And learning required patience. Night came fast on this planet. The wind grew colder and the red sky turned dark blue. Stars appeared above, and the beast's roars echoed in the distance. Kara felt a mix of fear and wonder. The beast was dangerous, yes, but it was also magnificent. She had never seen anything like it. Most people only heard stories, but she had seen it. She had watched it move, breathe, and even rest. She returned to the settlement slowly, careful not to make noise. She knew the beast might still be near. At the small camp, the other humans sat around small fires. They asked about her day, but she only shook her head. She could not explain. Words would not do justice to what she had seen. Her notes would tell the story better than she ever could. That night, Kara lay in her small bed, thinking about the beast. She thought about the cave and what might be inside. She wondered why it had not attacked her. She wondered if it could understand her, if it could see her differently from the aliens. Most humans would never go near it, and most aliens only wanted to kill or avoid it. But Kara wanted more. She wanted to see it up close, to study it, and to learn its secrets. She knew it would be dangerous. She knew it could end badly. But curiosity burned stronger than fear. Somewhere on the plains, the beast moved. Its eyes reflected the moonlight, bright and sharp. Paused, sensing something. Kara's mind raced. She had a plan forming. Tomorrow she would get closer. She would find out what it was guarding. And maybe, just maybe, she would show the aliens that humans were not as weak as they thought. The night was quiet, but full of tension. On this cold, red planet, a human and a beast were learning about each other. The story of fear, courage, and curiosity was just beginning. Kara did not know what would happen next, but she felt alive and she felt ready. The sun rose over the red plains, painting the rocks with orange and gold. Kara packed her small bag with tools, food, and her tracking device. Today she would go closer to the beast than ever before. The humans in the settlement warned her. "It's too dangerous. they said. The aliens laughed from above, riding their ships and pointing at her. You will be crushed. Stay inside. Kara ignored them. Fear was not her guide. Curiosity and courage were. The settlement needed supplies. A rare plant grew near the beast's territory, one that could help the humans survive the harsh weather and make their food last longer. No alien would go there. They said it was forbidden. They said it was impossible. Kara knew they were wrong. She had studied the beast's movements. She knew when it slept, where it hunted, and which paths it avoided. She could get there. She had to try. She walked carefully over the rocks, keeping low and quiet. The wind whipped around her, carrying dust into her eyes. She wiped it away and kept moving. Every step brought her closer to the beast's lair. Her heart beat fast, but her mind stayed calm. She thought of what she had seen yesterday, the beast protecting something, pausing at the cave. She thought of the aliens laughing, and it made her more determined. She would not fail. After hours of walking, she reached a ridge overlooking the beast's territory. She froze. There it was, larger and stronger than she remembered. Its scales glimmered in the sunlight, and its eyes were sharp and alert. Kara held her breath. One wrong move and it could charge at her. But she stayed still, waiting, watching, and learning. She noticed how it moved carefully around certain rocks. It seemed cautious, not wild. Kara realized it was clever, and it respected patterns and rules, even if no one else did. Kara decided to descend slowly. She wanted to get closer to the cave she had seen before. She stepped softly, making sure not to make noise. Her heart raced. She knew the aliens were watching from a distance, shaking their heads. "This human is reckless," one shouted from above. Kara smiled. Maybe she was reckless. But sometimes bravery looked reckless to those who only feared. Suddenly, the beast stopped and turned its head toward her. Kara froze. Its eyes locked onto hers. She felt a chill run down her spine. The air was heavy. She thought about running, but she did not. She remembered what she had learned. Sudden movements would make it angry. She stayed still, lowered her bag, and spoke softly. "I am not here to hurt you," she said, though she was not sure if it could understand her. The beast growled, low and dangerous, but it did not attack. It circled slowly, sniffing the air. Kara's mind raced. She had to stay calm. She remembered the small patterns she had noticed, how it avoided certain rocks, how it paused when it smelled danger. She stayed just outside its path, moving slowly toward the cave. Every step was careful, measured. She could feel the beast watching her, thinking, judging. Finally, she reached the cave's edge. She peeked inside. There were small, strange creatures huddled together. They looked dangerous at first, but Kara realized they were babies. The beast had been protecting them all along. She understood now. It was not a mindless monster. It was a parent. It was intelligent. It had rules, and it had reasons for its actions. Kara felt awe but also respect. Kara placed some food a little distance from the cave, careful not to get too close. She stepped back and waited. The beast watched her, then moved forward slowly. It sniffed the food, then the human's path, then back to the cave. It did not attack. Kara's heart leaped. The beast was curious, not angry. It was testing her. Hours passed. Kara stayed near the ridge, observing and recording. She moved only when she was sure it would not notice. The sun was high and the heat was strong, but she did not leave. She wanted to understand more. She saw how it groomed the babies, how it circled the area to make sure no one else came near. Every detail made her more certain. This beast was not just dangerous, it was smart, protective, and alive in ways no alien had understood. When evening came, Kara began her careful return to the settlement. The beast watched her leave but did not chase. She knew it had remembered her careful movements and calm behavior. She felt a connection forming, a strange trust between human and monster. The aliens would never believe it, but she did not care. They saw only fear, but Kara saw courage and intelligence. At the settlement, the humans were worried. "Did it see you?" they asked. Kara nodded, smiling. "Yes. And it didn't attack. It watched me. It's not just a beast. It's alive and it thinks." They stared at her, unsure. The aliens laughed, saying she was lucky. Kara knew it was more than luck. It was observation, patience, and courage. That night, Kara lay awake, thinking of the cave and the babies and the beast that protected them. She wondered what would happen next. Could she get closer tomorrow? Could she learn more? Could she show the aliens that humans were different? Fearful. Maybe. But humans could also be brave, careful, and clever. Kara felt ready. Tomorrow she would go back. Tomorrow she would take another step toward the beast, and toward understanding something that no one else dared to face. The next morning, Kara prepared to return to the beast's territory. She packed more food, her notebook, and a small tool to observe the creature without touching it. The sun rose slowly over the jagged plains, casting long shadows on the red rocks. The wind blew gently, carrying the scent of dust and strange plants. Kara moved carefully, keeping her steps quiet. She wanted the beast to see her as calm, not a threat. When she reached the ridge, the beast was there. It had not moved far from the cave. Its eyes were sharp, watching the area carefully. Kara froze for a moment, letting it see her, letting it understand that she meant no harm. Slowly, she set down the food a short distance from the cave and stepped back. The beast lowered its head to sniff. Its massive claws dug into the dirt as it moved closer. Kara's heart beat fast, but she stayed still. She watched as the beast inspected the food and then glanced toward her. Its gaze was intelligent, almost curious. Kara realized that it was learning about her, just as she was learning about it. She stayed patient, writing notes quietly. She watched how it moved, how it protected the small creatures in the cave. Each time it returned to them, it circled around to make sure they were safe. Kara could see the pattern. It was careful, deliberate, and aware of everything around it. Over the next few hours, Kara repeated small actions. She left food in safe places, always keeping distance. She made soft noises, trying to sound calm and friendly. The beast watched, sometimes growling low but never attacking. Slowly it began to respond. When she moved carefully, it would step back a little, letting her pass. When she stopped, it would observe quietly. Kara realized that trust was growing between them, slowly, step by step. Kara noticed something new. The beast was not only protecting its babies, it was teaching them. It nudged them gently when they wandered too far. It blocked them from dangerous rocks. It sniffed the air constantly, making sure no threat was near. Kara's respect grew. This was not a mindless animal. It was intelligent and aware, caring for its young. She thought of the aliens who had only seen the beast as a monster. They would never understand. She decided to take another risk. She picked up a small stick and used it to draw shapes in the dirt, simple symbols to see the beast's reaction. At first it stepped back, wary. Then it watched, tilting its head. Kara smiled slightly. It seemed curious. She drew more symbols slowly, always careful not to move too fast. The beast watched every motion. Kara realized that it could learn, that it could observe and understand patterns. She was not just watching it, it was watching her too. As the sun climbed higher, Kara moved a little closer to the cave. She stayed low and quiet, never rushing. The beast did not attack. It simply stepped around her, circling the cave to check its young. Kara could feel her courage grow. She had been careful, patient, and respectful. And now it seemed to respect her in return. She took a few steps, close enough to see the babies clearly. They were small, covered in soft scales and fragile. Kara felt a strange warmth in her chest. She understood why the beast protected them so fiercely. Hours passed. Kara stayed observing. She wrote notes about the beast's behavior, its movements, and how it interacted with its babies. She noticed its breathing patterns, how it paused to listen to distant sounds, how it sniffed the wind. Every detail mattered. She knew that one day this knowledge could help the humans survive and even live alongside the beast safely. Late in the afternoon, Kara decided to retreat carefully. She stepped back slowly, letting the beast see her leave. It watched her every step, its massive head following her movement. For a moment she thought it might attack if she made a mistake, but it did not. It was patient, as if understanding that she meant no harm. Kara smiled quietly. The bond between them was small but real. Back at the settlement, Kara shared little with the other humans. They asked questions, but she only shook her head. Words could not explain what she had learned. She had seen the beast not as a monster but as a living, thinking creature. She had seen courage, care, and intelligence in something the aliens called terrifying. Kara felt proud but also careful. She knew the next step would be harder. She would need more patience and courage to get closer, to truly understand the beast. That night, Kara lay awake thinking of the day. She thought of the patterns, the careful movements, and the small trust that had begun to grow. The beast was powerful, but it was not cruel. It was aware. Could think. And slowly she realized that humans and the beast might be able to learn from each other. Fear had been replaced by understanding. Tomorrow she would go again. She would watch, wait, and act carefully. She would show that humans were brave and clever, not just weak and fearful. The beast had begun to recognize her as different from the others, and Kara knew that this bond could grow stronger. On this cold, red planet, two unlikely beings were learning about each other. And the story of courage, patience, and understanding was only beginning. The morning air was thick and still. Kara packed her bag again, carrying food in her notebook. Today felt different. The wind was calm, almost too calm, and the sky had a strange gray tint. As she approached the beast's territory, she noticed movement in the distance. Dust rose from the plains, and the shape of alien ships appeared on the horizon. They were not the friendly patrols. These were strangers, stronger and more dangerous than anyone she had seen before. Kara froze. The new aliens moved quickly, heading straight for the human settlement. She knew immediately that the humans could not fight them alone. Panic rose in her chest, but she forced herself to stay calm. The beast was nearby. If she could reach it, maybe they could survive. She had learned its patterns, its ways, and its care for its young. She had to act fast. The beast was resting near the cave when Kara arrived. Its massive head lifted as it smelled the air. Kara called softly, "It's time. Help us." She did not know if it could understand, but she spoke anyway. The beast growled low, a sound that made the ground tremble, and then stood. Its tail lashed the earth, and the small creatures in the cave hid behind it. Kara ran alongside the ridge, staying just out of reach, careful not to frighten it. The aliens approached the settlement, firing small weapons into the air. Humans ran for cover, shouting and panicking. Kara's heart raced, but she did not turn away. She needed the beast. Slowly, it followed her lead, moving between rocks and shadows, circling toward the invaders. Its claws dug into the ground, making deep marks as it moved. The aliens paused, seeing the massive creature appear. They laughed at first, thinking it was just another threat they could destroy. Kara knew better. The beast moved with precision. It did not attack blindly. It charged at the aliens only when necessary, using its size to block and push them back. Rocks flew and the ground shook under its weight. Kara watched from a safe distance, guiding it with small gestures. She had learned how to communicate with it, not with words but with careful movements. The beast responded, moving exactly as she hoped. Some aliens tried to climb over rocks to get closer, but the beast's tail swung with power, knocking them down without touching the humans. Others shot weapons from a distance, but the beast was fast, dodging and circling to protect the settlement. Kara felt her courage grow. She had trusted the beast and now it was protecting everyone. Humans and aliens alike were stunned. They had never seen anything like this. Kara ran closer to the settlement, waving for people to stay behind rocks and shelters. The beast blocked the main path, growling and roaring. Its eyes were sharp and intelligent, aware of every movement. It protected the babies in the cave, making sure they were safe while still guarding the humans. Kara realized that it understood more than she had thought. It knew friend from foe, danger from safety, and it acted to protect, not to destroy. Hours passed. The invaders could not break through. The beast moved with strength and intelligence, never attacking humans, only the threat. Kara watched, heart pounding, amazed at what she had helped create, a partnership between human and beast. The invaders finally realized they could not win and retreated, leaving dust and broken rocks behind. Kara and the humans cheered quietly, knowing that without the beast, they would have lost everything. When the dust settled, Kara approached the beast carefully. It lowered its massive head, watching her. She knelt slowly, holding out her hand in respect. The beast sniffed her and then gently nudged her shoulder with its snout. Kara smiled. They had passed the true test. Fear had been replaced by trust. Courage had been tested, and intelligence had guided them through danger. The humans came out of hiding, looking at the beast with awe. The aliens who had once mocked Kara and the humans were silent, their arrogance gone. They had learned a lesson they would not forget. Fear alone could not win, and humans had strengths they did not understand. Kara stood tall, proud of what had happened. The beast stayed near the cave, guarding its young, but it also stayed close to the humans, a silent protector. That night, Kara returned to the settlement with notes and observations. She wrote about the beast's movements, its intelligence, and its care. She thought about the bond they had formed and how it had saved the humans. The wind whispered through the rocks, and somewhere on the plains, the beast rested. Kara knew that tomorrow would be different. The aliens would respect them now, and humans would be stronger. Kara lay in her small bed thinking of the day. She felt tired but alive. She had faced danger, worked with something no one else dared approach, and survived. The beast had passed the ultimate test, and so had she. The story of courage, patience, and understanding had reached its turning point. Humans were not just small and weak, they were clever, brave, and capable of forming bonds no one else could imagine. Outside, the beast roared softly, a sound that echoed across the plains. It was a warning, a celebration, and a signal that trust had been earned. Kara smiled, knowing that the next chapter would be about respect, not fear, and about lessons learned on a dangerous, red planet. The true test had ended, but a new understanding had begun. The sun rose slowly over the red plains, casting light on the jagged rocks and quiet settlements. Kara walked carefully toward the beast's territory, carrying food and her notebook. The air was calm, but something had changed. The aliens who once laughed at the humans now watched quietly from a distance. They had seen what Kara and the beast had done. Fear had turned into respect. The beast was waiting near the cave, its massive head lifted as Kara approached. She knelt and placed a small bundle of food on the ground, stepping back slowly. The beast sniffed, then lowered itself slightly, a gesture Kara had learned meant trust. Its eyes, sharp and intelligent, followed her carefully. For the first time she felt a deep connection, not just curiosity or fear but understanding. Kara stayed near the ridge, observing the beast as it moved around the cave, caring for its babies. It nudged them gently when they wandered too far, and it circled the area to make sure no one approached. Kara smiled. The beast had proven itself not just strong, but intelligent and protective. It had saved the humans from danger and taught the aliens a lesson they would not forget. The aliens approached slowly, keeping their distance. Their eyes were wide as they watched the beast. Some whispered to each other. Kara knew they were surprised. They had believed humans were weak and reckless, but now they saw something different. Humans were clever, brave, and able to form bonds others could not. Kara stood tall, proud, knowing she had changed their minds. She walked closer to the beast, careful not to scare it. It sniffed her hand gently and stepped back, letting her pass. She knelt beside the cave, watching the babies. They were small and fragile, covered in soft scales but safe. Kara had learned that the beast had been misunderstood all along. The aliens had feared it, thinking it was a monster, but it was a parent, intelligent and aware. The human settlement began to gather. People came out cautiously, looking at the beast with awe. They had feared it before, but now they saw it differently. Kara explained quietly, pointing out how it cared for its babies, how it had saved them from the invaders. Slowly the humans understood. Respect replaced fear. They realized that courage and understanding were stronger than weapons. The aliens watched, silent and humbled. They had mocked Kara and the humans, thinking them weak and foolish. Now they had seen humans act with intelligence and bravery, forming a bond with a creature they had called dangerous. The aliens could not argue. They had no choice but to acknowledge the humans' courage and the beast's strength. Respect had been earned, not given. Kara stayed near the beast, writing notes in her notebook. She recorded its movements, its patterns, and its behavior. She wanted to remember everything. The beast moved gracefully, watching the humans and aliens alike. It seemed to understand that it was part of something new. It no longer needed to be feared, it was respected. Kara felt proud of the bond they had formed, of the lessons they had all learned together. As the sun set, painting the sky red and orange, the humans gathered near the settlement. Kara stood on a small rock, looking at the beast and its babies. She thought about everything that had happened. The danger, the courage, the trust, and the understanding. Humans had been afraid, but they had also been brave. They had learned that fear could be replaced by patience and observation, and that respect was earned through action. The beast let out a soft roar, a sound that was not threatening but proud. Kara stepped closer, reaching out her hand. It sniffed her fingers gently, then nudged her shoulder. The humans and aliens watched silently. They understood now. The beast was not just a creature to fear. It was intelligent, protective, and capable of forming bonds with those who earned its trust. Kara smiled. She had learned much, but she had also taught others. Humans could be brave, clever, and patient. They could face danger without panic and find understanding where others saw only fear. The aliens had learned too. They saw that strength was not only in weapons or size, but in courage, patience, and respect. Night came and the stars shone above the red plains. Kara stayed near the beast, watching the sky. She felt calm and proud. The humans had survived, the aliens had learned, and the beast had been understood. A new era had begun on the planet, a time of respect, trust, and cooperation. Humans had shown that they were capable of more than anyone had believed. The beast curled near its babies, still alert but calm. Kara sat nearby, writing her final notes for the day. She looked at the humans returning to the settlement, at the aliens watching quietly, and at the vast plains beyond. Everything had changed. Fear had turned into respect. Danger had turned into understanding. And Kara knew that humans had proven something important, that courage, intelligence, and patience could overcome even the greatest challenges. The story ended not with violence or fear but with trust. Humans and the beast had formed a bond that no alien could break. Respect had been earned, and everyone, human, alien, and beast, understood that bravery and understanding could change the world. Kara smiled as she watched the beast protect its babies, proud of what had been achieved. The HFY spirit was alive.